There are many days when the voices in my head sound like,
It's too
you
late.
fucking
How am I gonna
loser,
get out
piece
of
of
this? I
shit.
gotta
What are you
figure
doing
something
with
out.
your
We gotta
life,
get
dude? It's
together.
way
We gotta
too
make a
late for you.
plan.
You should
I
give
don't know,
up,
maybe
give
it's too
up,
late. I
give
don't think
up. But I'm still here. But it is dark for me right now. And if you're here, you're watching a real life documentary about how I dig myself out of probably the hardest point in my life. And as someone who's going through a period of intense darkness, a lot of people have suggested antidepressants. Until now, I have adamantly refused, and here's why. So first of all, among my friends, antidepressants have very mixed reviews. For some, they have shared it's been actually very helpful and instrumental in helping them deal with the pain of living life at this time. And others have shared that antidepressants have been this living hell. They haven't actually helped resolve the underlying problem that they faced, and that after starting to take them, they got addicted, and trying to get off of antidepressants was like a living hell. The problem I have with antidepressants is the fundamental theory on which this science is based, which is this idea that there is a chemical imbalance in your brain. And because you have this chemical imbalance of your brain causing you to feel sad and depressed and fearful, that therefore something is wrong with you. And that this chemical imbalance needs a chemical correction, which of course is the antidepressant. Now, for you to believe all of this and take antidepressants, you have to fundamentally accept this idea that you or reality is in some way broken or defective and in need of correction. And that modern science and pharmacology has the solution that you need. And the problem is that if you believe this, if you believe that your depression is a result of some error in your code or some problem with reality and that you just need to take this pill in order to resolve it, you give away some of your agency. And let me explain what I mean by that. Like, if your brain is sending you signals that something is wrong, and rather than try to investigate those signals, try to master those signals, try to figure out why do I feel so sad? Why do I feel so anxious? And instead just decide that something is wrong with my system, right? The fault in our stars, then it means that you fundamentally distrust your own body and your own emotions. I choose to believe that the feelings I have in this very moment in my life of anxiety, of despair, of wanting to give up, are the result of actions that I have either taken or not taken, and also certainly are the result of the crazy world and time in which I live. There's this idea of the locus of control. It's whether or not you believe you create your own fate. And when we have a very high internal locus of control, we feel like we can actually make a difference in our own lives through actions that we take. When we put the locus of control externally, we then start to think life happens to us. And it's this exact external locus of control type of thinking that causes people to decide, okay, I'm just going to take antidepressants. I'm just going to repress or try to change my own feelings, and that there is no other road. Now, I'm not criticizing you if you went down that path, because it's certainly easier and more comfortable to go down that path. And if you're in the position where you want to stay alive, you don't want to kill yourself, but you have that level of negativity in your own spirit, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not faulting you. But for me, I cannot go down that path. And for me, it feels to me like if I take those pills, if I start to believe that I am broken, if I say, fix me to the doctor, rather than give my absolute all to figure out what caused this situation, then I will be doing myself a disservice. For me, my emotions are this communication from my soul to my conscious self. And my emotions right now telling me how badly I failed, telling me that there's no hope, telling me all these things is the result of somewhere along the line, like I took a left turn when I shouldn't have. Somewhere along the line, I stopped listening to something inside of myself that I shouldn't have. Somewhere along the line, like I let go of something I should have held on to. And now my task is to figure out what that is. Emotions are a guidance system. They lead us towards experiences that bring us fulfillment. And right now, my emotional guidance system is like, it's warning me that I'm off the path. And so I have to figure out what it takes to get back onto the path. The second reason I don't take antidepressants is because I know this is a business. And they will say whatever they want to say to sell their product, right? Rather than have people encouraged to do the difficult work of introspection, the difficult work of making real life changes. It's so easy, right? Just take this pill and we will take away your pain. But what if you need your pain? What if your pain is actually something that is yours and yours alone? To bear and to carry in this life, to use, to overcome, to work with, not something to repress or to push away. That's how I feel. And so I know that these companies, like they would be happy if everybody in the world took antidepressants. They would be so freaking happy. Their shareholders would be so happy. And so all of their marketing and all of their fancy commercials is all devoted to enriching themselves. It's not really about resolving the problem. In fact, their intention, I believe, is to make you a customer for life. It's not that there's ever a stop to the pills. It never ends. Another reason why I'm not into it. And I think when we get to the deepest level of this question, if you're contemplating this or if you have friends or family who are contemplating this, Jim Carrey has this amazing quote, and he talks about how depression is actually, when you're depressed, if you break that word up, it's depressed, deep rest. And what he says is that you need deep rest from the character that you have been pretending to be. We all, without meaning to, play certain characters in life. And if we get too attached to the person we've been, or we get too lost in the person where we think we are, we become depressed because we need a break from this person. And I think for me, like the character that I have been trying to be, the person I've been trying to become, is someone I actually need a break from. And fundamentally, this is the choice that I'm making in this YouTube channel, is to change the person that I am, to reinvent the person that I am. And that's going to mean different habits. That's going to mean different beliefs. That's going to mean changing the way I dress, down to the most minute details. Like I need a change because I'm ultimately bored with the person that I am being in the world. And in order for me to not be bored, in order for me to be deeply engaged, like I have to make changes. And I believe that is the source of this depression. That's after all the introspection I've done, like that's the only solution I can see. Is like I have to change things in my life if I want things to get better, not take a pill. And that journey also is going to be pretty interesting because for many people, the things that I've been doing, I think would be satisfying. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 7 years. I've had some successful businesses. Like I get to travel around. I live on my own terms in many ways. And yet there has been something that has been missing in my own experience, right? And I can hear like the Christian shouting that it's Jesus, and I can hear the atheist shouting it's science, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that I discover what the answer is for myself. And I'm going to share this journey authentically and truthfully and raw way with you. And I promise you, I will not stop until we get there. And if you're in a position where you feel depressed, maybe you need some deep rest from the life you've been living, maybe you want to reinvent yourself, maybe you have come to this fork in the road in your journey, like walk with me and let's figure this out together.